am Marina, and this is the Giveback. It's your channel to connect with your heart, to follow your intuition, and also to be inspired by life stories of amazing human beings. Today, for sure, it's a special moment for me, but also a special moment for all the Giveback team. So I'm very grateful for each of you, for the trust, for belief in my intention, and for putting your talents to serve. Thank you, Inês, Pietro, Juliana, Rita, Rafaela, Fernanda. And this program was created in honor of 50 people that helped me 7 years ago with open and honest conversation to support me in find out the meaning of life. And I'm extremely happy today to have all of you with me in this moment. And in a dream come true moment, I'm honored to have Professor Muhammad Yunus with us, who was awarded with the Nobel Prize for funding Garmeen Bank and pioneering the microcrédito, helping millions of people around the globe to go out from poverty. Professor Yunus, to give back.
Professor Yunus, seja bem-vindo.
I would love if you can talk about what is Garmeen Bank and why you decided to create it.
Well, thank you for inviting me to your occasion of Giveback. It's a wonderful way of looking back at the people, how we can interact with people. And this happened in a very difficult circumstances in Bangladesh, some 45 years back. People were suffering from hunger and malnutrition and death by hunger. There's a famine condition in the country. And I was teaching economics in the university, in one of the universities in Bangladesh. And I saw how people struggle for their life. And as an economist, I had no way to help them. So I thought I was a useless person. I don't have any use in me to be of some help to anybody. I don't know how to make it happen. So one idea, I thought I could go to the village next to the university campus and be with the people and see if as any way, as a human being, I can be of some use to anybody, even for a few moments or for a day or a couple of days. So that I started doing that. And that became everyday thing. I go there, talk to people, see if I can do something, little thing here, little thing there. So I got involved with many things with the villages. And one thing came is loan sharking in the village, how loan sharks exploit the condition of the poor people by putting impossible conditionalities on people and grab everything they have. Seeing the victims of the loan sharks, I was thinking, can I protect the loan shark from the victims of the loan shark, from the loan shark? So one idea that I had, why don't I lend the money myself? If I lend the money, then he doesn't have to go to the loan shark. So he'll be protected, he will not become a victim. So that's what I started doing that. It was in 1976 when I first did that. And people liked it. So it became very popular in the village and the next village. And I was very happy that I was doing that and people are happy. So I wanted to make it, and since it's becoming bigger and bigger, I wanted to give it a formal shape. So I thought, why don't I create a bank? Just bank for the poor people in the village. Called it Garmeen Bank or Village Bank. And I thought this will be a small bank for the village. And people can take money and don't have to go to loan shark. But I had no idea that it will spread. So continue to spread all over the country, then all over the world, became known as microcredit. It's a very simple idea. but nobody wanted to do it before. So I thought this is one thing I can try, and I tried and it worked. That's how it began.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to spend 40 days in Dhaka doing the immersion course at the Yunus Center.
Good.
And I figured out that you not only created Garmeen Bank, actually you create more than 30 companies in such different sectors like telecom, food, water, solar panel, education, and all of this company under the social business model. So my question for you is, could you explain for our audience today, what's the main difference between a social business model in comparison what we have these, let's say, traditional companies?
Yeah, it all began with the Garmeen Bank. Working with the poor people, I wanted to be close to them to understand their problem. It came to microcredit, and then created a bank to support it, expand it. But as I started working with the poor people, particularly poor women, I see many other problems, not just money, not just loan shark. One of the first things that I noticed is the health problem. Health is a major issue for poor people, particularly poor women and their children. So one of the first thing I did is to start helping addressing one particular disease called night blindness. Children cannot see during the night. Their visibility completely disappears. This is because of vitamin A deficiency. There's not enough food in the vitamin A in the food, so they lose their eyesight. And doctors told me they eat vegetables with rich in vitamin A, then they will be improving their eyesight and the problem will be solved. So I started encouraging them to produce vegetables. Everybody produce vegetable and let the children eat. It didn't go very far. Then I started making attractive, started selling vegetable seed. Make it 1 penny packet. And as we go around, we sell the packet to the people. And it became very popular. Everybody loved those seeds, everybody loved the vegetables. And as Garmeen Bank grew, our seed business grew. And we became, at one point, the largest vegetable seed seller in the country. We became so big. So this was one business we did, but we had no intention of making profit out of it, personally. Our only interest is to make it sustainable so that we can have enough money to continue to do that. Then we saw the problem of toilets. There's no toilet in the village. So people go out in the open completely. So it spreads diseases. So I talked to the women in our program. I said, why don't you dig a hole in the soil and use it as a toilet, open pit toilet. So that was the beginning. Then we created a company to produce sanitary latrine, a very formal latrine. And then started selling this, and Garmeen Bank gives loan to the borrowers to buy the latrine and set it up. And it became very popular too, because we made it so easy to buy it and sell it, install it. And it became a nationwide thing. So this is another business of toilet. Then we encouraged them to build houses, because their house is very flimsy, the housing. Then started giving housing loan, and then provide all the things that you need to build a solid house so that you can easily have it. So we started producing these elements in the village and sell it to them. It became a housing project. So we started selling the components of houses. Then we started with the broader healthcare program. We started with the healthcare insurance. If you pay $4 a year, your entire family is covered by health insurance. You have a doctor in the village, you have assistant of doctors and paramedics and so on. So that became another business, health business, all to cover the cost, not to make money from anybody. Then one thing led to another. We have created the healthcare insurance. Then we get the eye care hospital to do the cataract operation. Then went into solar energy so that you don't have to use the kerosene. Yeah. For the money that you spend on kerosene, we can give you solar home system. When it became very popular, so everybody wanted to have the solar home system because you have electricity. Once you have electricity, then you can have many other things. Then we have a company to bring mobile phone called Garmeen phone. So the Garmeen phone brought mobile phone, and we gave loans to the women to buy the mobile phone and to sell the service of the mobile phone in the village. And she became the telephone lady of the village because everybody has to come to her to make a phone call because the others don't have the phone. So it became very popular, and very quickly the telephone ladies become well off, and they get out of the poverty very quickly. So one thing after we did that, in the healthcare, the hospitals, and we have the health centers, and we have the joint ventures with the Danone to bring yogurt, to bring nutrition to the children. And we have joint ventures with Uniqlo, Japanese company, to bring good dresses for the children in the poor families and so on. So this is how one thing led to another. But this is a very special kind of business. And people wonder, why do we do the business like this? Not to make money. I said, well, this is what we want, we enjoy. And I started telling them that making money may be happiness, but making other people happy is a super happiness. So I said, we get super happiness by doing that. So this is the thing, money is not always the thing that it brings happiness to you. There are many things that you can do to bring happiness. So this is what you should be aiming at in life, how to enhance the happiness in life.
And just to clarify, when you say that, not making money, it's not that you are not profitable. It's you do not distribute dividends and to the shareholders, and all the employees, they receive market price, their wage as equivalent at any other industry. Is that correct?
Yes, not only that, we said that people who work in the social business, this we call social business, we define by saying non-dividend company, to solve human problems. The aim of the business is to solve problem, not to make personal profit out of it. So the profit is plowed back into the business. It doesn't come out to the owners. Owners dedicate this business to solve the problems. And one of our principles is that the people who work there, at least the people at the lower end of the wage level, salary level, should be paid better than the market price, not less, better than the market price, because not only they are working for the company, also they are providing a social service to help people to solve the problem. So encourage them, they should get better return for their job that they do. So this is what we have been following all along.
And Professor Yunus, you have already proved that social business model works with all these examples that you just shared with us now. And why do you think is the main reason why social business is not yet mainstream? What's holding us to not do that?
Because we created a world which is based on profit maximization. As we grow up in the family, we talk about how to make profit. When we go to school, they tell you what is profit, how to make profit, and so on. And when you grow up, you take a job to make others make money, and you dedicate your life to help other people to make profit for themselves. So that's the only thing economists told us. So our mind is surrounded with this idea of profit maximization. When you tell that you can have a business not to make money, they get very puzzled. They can understand, what does it mean? How do you have a business not to make money? Yes. So that's one reason why it's very difficult. And this is one thing, when you talk about it, it's very difficult for people to understand. Second is, we don't teach it in our school. So our mind is completely blocked. We know only one thing, make money. So there is no room for another kind of business. We said in order to mainstream it, we have to go back to the education system. In schools, in every level of your education, they have to explain to you there are two kinds of business. One business to make money for yourself, self-centered business. Another business is to help others to solve their problems or be involved in solving other people's problems. That we call the social business. So it's a money-making business and social business. In social business, you don't make money for yourself, but you solve the problems in a business way, in a sustainable way. Once you learn that, then it becomes easy to how to make that. These are the two things. Another one is, since there is only one kind of business, and not everybody can own that business, so we become job seekers. We work for them. So as soon as we finish our school, we rush out to get a job. So job orientation also took away the idea of social business, because we think that the only thing I can do is to find a job, and the job is available only at the people who want to make money for themselves. So I've learned how to help other people make money and dedicate my entire life in helping other people get them rich with my support, with my sacrifice and so on. So there you don't have any room for thinking, I can solve people's problem. And that could be another kind of business. So our mind is trained that way. So that's the reason we don't see it outside. It takes very gradual, slow motion understanding. So until it becomes part of academic system, until every textbook tells you there are two kinds of business, it cannot be mainstream. So we have to redesign the education system, what kind of economy you are looking for, what are the kind of businesses you can do, how you do it. It will be very difficult to do it in real life.
Thank you. And when you just said about that, you always state about that we should not tell to our kids to be job seekers, but job givers. Could you share with us about what you are doing through the Nobin Udyoka program in Bangladesh?
Right. Yeah. Basic thing is all integrated into the same thing when we talk about social business, when we talk about finance for the poor people. The whole thing began with the Garmeen Bank, because I said the banking system is designed the wrong way. Banks are supposed to lend money to people, but the banking system designed it in such a way, it lends money to people who already have lots of money. It doesn't lend money to people who don't have money. I said, that's a completely wrong thing. Banking system should aim at lending money to people who don't have money. That will be their first task. Once they fulfill that task, then they go to the next one. The people who have some money and more money, etc. But the start must be with the people who don't have money. So it's a kind of upside down banking system. And because of that banking system, we created massive concentration of wealth. All the wealth of the world is in the hand of only small number of people. 1% of the people own 99% of the wealth of the entire world because of the banking system. Bank, because they bring the money to them and they make money, so they go up. Mm-hmm. The people are at the lower end of the income. So 99% of the people are at the lower end of the income, but they don't have any wealth, only 1% of the wealth. People who have a massive amount of income, they are at the top. They control the 99% of the wealth. So the wealth is in one part, away from people, and people are left in the bottom of the income level. So there's a big gap between people and the wealth. I said, that's the wrong system. The real system, true system should be where people and wealth live together. That should be the system. But today we created a different system where wealth is taken away from the people. People are left at the bottom all the time. Mm-hmm. So I said, this is because of the banking system, how it has been created. So the whole question came about the banking system and education system also. Education system tells the young people that you have to get a good grade to get a good job. Everything about job. I said, this is again a wrong thing. Human beings are not born to work for somebody else. This is another form of slavery. Why should I work for anybody? I'm a free person. I'm an independent person. I'm an entrepreneur. So I said, all human beings are born as entrepreneurs. But our wrong thinking has pushed us to take a job. to work for somebody else. Then people explained to me, no, it's not possible because human beings don't have the entrepreneurial capacity. Not everybody is an entrepreneur. I said, I cannot accept that because I do it in Garmeen Bank and all the microcredit. These poor women take $10, $50 loan and turn into entrepreneur with no education, no going to school, nothing, but they become entrepreneur. If millions of these women can become entrepreneur, I guarantee you all human beings are entrepreneur. This is a proof that they don't need any training. All I gave is just to give the money. So I said, finance, the money, is the oxygen of entrepreneurship. The moment you bring that oxygen, people become entrepreneurs. So banking system has denied that oxygen. So we became helpless. Since we are helpless, we go to you to find a job to survive so that I can feed myself, my family. I said, that's a wrong system. We should be designing a banking system so that everybody has access to finance. Then everybody will become entrepreneur. So I said, real human beings are entrepreneurs. They should not be working for anybody else. Today, all the wealth concentration takes place because we work for them, for the rich. We are the mercenaries who go out and bring the wealth to them and hand it over to them. And they become rich. I said, if we can train ourselves in our mind that we are all entrepreneurs and financial system gives us the finance to start the business, then we'll be collecting our own wealth. We'll not give it to anybody else. So the wealth and people will live together because everybody is picking up the wealth themselves by entrepreneurship. So this is what we told about the explanation. And in order to prove that, one is the Garmeen Bank, microcredit, women taking money, become entrepreneurs. Then their children. I said, their children can be entrepreneur too. They have gone to school, they have gone to colleges, now they are educated, but they don't know that they can be an entrepreneur. So we said, why don't you come with a business idea? And we have the money. We created a venture capital fund, social business venture capital fund. You come with a business idea, we become your partner. We invest in your business. And once you are successful, you buy us off. You give us the money back. All the shares is yours. You are the owner. We don't want to control your business. We want to help you to get off with the business. So now thousands and thousands of young people take this money and start the business. That's our new entrepreneurship program, or in Bangla, we call it Nobin Uddokta program, new entrepreneurs program. So this is what it is. These are young people, never thought of a business. Now that money is available, they said, well, I can come up with a business idea. So if my friend starts a business, I will start thinking, why can't I start a business? So I start thinking too. Then I go, because money is available, and get the money and start a business. This is how leads to one another. So it could be done all over the world. There's no question of unemployment. The whole world unemployment, I thought is a very silly word. I tried to explain by saying the whole problem of unemployment is created by the concept of employment. If we didn't have the concept of employment, we wouldn't have the unemployment.
There is no unemployment.
Yes. Yeah, we are not looking for employment. Why should there be unemployment?
Perfect.
The day we created the idea of employment, then we created the problem of unemployment. They said, I don't have anything. I sit there. Don't do anything. I said, when we were in the caves, way back in history, we are not waiting for jobs. We have to go out and get something done so that we can feed ourselves, we can protect ourselves. There's no question of job. So we were doing our own thing. So today, if we remove this whole idea of job, we'll be doing our own thing and we'll flourish by ourselves and we'll stop the concentration of wealth. Nobody can take away the wealth from us. We'll retain our own wealth. And they have to earn their own money too. They cannot just sit there and we can pour the wealth at their feet. This will not happen.
That's true. Thank you so much. And Professor Yunus, back was also a way that I found to recognize people who have a huge impact in my life. And you are one of them.
Wow.
I would like to thank you so much for creating the immersion course. I took, like I said, 2 years ago, and I spent 40 days in Dhaka, knowing all kind of amazing businesses that you have created. And there are 2 special moments that I would like to share with you that really changed my life. First one was when I was on the village, participating in one of these center meetings with all the women that are followers of Garmeen Bank. And one of the ladies, they would like to invite us to go to her house, to show her house to us. And you know, like a typical Bangladesh people that are so lovely, she wants to treat us with homemade cute biscuit and also milk with tea. And on the way I was going on the path to her house, I saw 2 cows and a pair of ducks. And at that moment, I realized what was her business, was to sell the milk and sell the eggs.
Yeah.
And for the first time, I thought to myself, oh, this I can do it. It was the first time that I saw as an entrepreneur. And that is big. It looks small, but it's big when you shift your
very
mind.
Important. Absolutely. This is all about mind,
And the other moment was when I met Hasna. So Hasna, the owner of beauty salon that is supported by Nobel program. And during the meeting, I was talking with her and I asked, how does a good day looks like to you? And she said, when I can support other women to break a cycle of violence.
Yes.
That was our inspiration to create a social business in Brazil. The name is Somos Todas Marias. So Ana, who has also joined me in that course, and 2 other amazing women, Fabiana and Andrea. We are together with other women, like a plan of them, committed to help women in Brazil, owner of beauty salons, to thrive in life. So I just like to have this opportunity to say a big thank you for this experience. And I would like to now, very curious to know from you, who is an important person in your life that you like to recognize or be thankful for?
Well, I would say the women that I worked with in Bangladesh in the very beginning, they're very special because they gave me the faith in the destiny of human being, because I had no idea. My economics study never gave me opportunity to be with people, because these are all books and theories and so on. So once working with individual women, I saw how tenacious they are, how strong they are, although they have nothing, practically nothing, but still they have resolved that they're one common thing that I saw that everybody felt, that their children must have better life than they had. So they worked very hard to make sure that children have a better life than she had. So that's a very simple thing, but very concrete. She didn't want her children to go through the same misery that she has gone through. So she wanted to do anything possible to make that sure. So learning from them was, I think, the wonderful gift that I ever had. If I had not met those women in the villages, probably I would still be same college educated and formal, traditional educated person and thinking in a completely artificial world. So they brought me to the real world, real human being.
Thank you so much. I would like now to invite 2 people from our crowd, from our audience today.
Okay.
So I have a question for you. My first guest is Mark Cheng from Hong Kong.
Okay.
So please, Mark, come to the stage.
Great. Thank you so much. And what an honor to meet you, Professor Yunus. Just to share, you've also had a great impact in my life as well. It was reading your biography, Bank to the Poor, many years ago, that actually inspired me as a young banker to leave my banking job and social sector and to become an investor and a fundraiser for social businesses and social enterprises. So thank you so much for the inspiration. And
how did you get with her?
Sorry,
you get together. You get together with the.
So Marina has been based here in Hong Kong as well.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
So
okay. That's how you met.
Connected through that and through this work as well.
I'm from Brazil. I moved to Hong Kong 4 years ago, and when I knew that money was bringing Ashoka to Hong Kong, I set up a call with him and said, I have to help you. I want to know what you're doing.
Okay.
That's how we met.
Good. That's it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
This is one end of the world and other end of the world. That's why I was wondering how Marina and you get together.
That's right. we're very spread out, but anyway, this work touches many places and many hearts. So thank you. And my question is, you've outlined a beautiful vision of social business, a different kind of business, and the other side of the equation is finance. And so I'm curious, what is your vision for investment, social investment? Is there a role for investors to create social change? So as we try and change the system, how does investment change in order to be able to realize that vision as well? I'm curious in what does investment for social change mean?
Sure. You see, today the issue is what do you do with your wealth? What do you do with your money? So there are two options. You can invest to make more money. This is the traditional investment. You invest in businesses where you'll bring more money for yourself. And the traditional rule of thumb is you put the money where you get the maximum return for your money. That's a standard procedure. This is one option. The other option is give away your money, charity. So these are the two options people follow. What we did, we created a third option. It's not giving away. We are not giving away our money. We are not using the money to make more money for ourselves. Then in the process, we ignore everybody else's problem because we are so busy making our money. So this is a third way where we want to invest so that we can solve other people's problems in a business way. They invest in that business without any intention of making personal money. It's not charity. We want our money back. As whatever I give you, whatever I invested, that money should come back. But I don't want any on top of it. So in charity money goes out, does a great work, but that money never comes back. So you have one-time use of your money. And profit maximizing money kind of takes away other people's problems. I'm busy with my own interest, self-interest. So it's a self-interest driven business. I want to get as much as I get. And sometimes I get ruthless in doing that. Not only I ignore, I deliberately hurt others in order to enrich myself. So that's the profit maximization part. The third part that we created is between the two. I'm not trying to enrich myself. I don't want to benefit myself. I want to benefit others. But still, I want to have the money that I put to come back so that I can use it again and again. So where charity money has one life, you can use it once. Social business money has endless life because you can use and use and use. You can use the same money over and over and over and again. So it becomes very extended. So now it's a choice for people which way you want to invest your money. Either you want to maximize. This is a question of choice. You want to be a rich person, forgetting what it hurts other people or not, or you want to be charity money. You want to help people, give away your resources, or you want to do it in a social business so that your same money can be used again and again and reach out to many people and benefit people permanently, sustainably. It will never disappear. That's a whole thing. So that's the choice we created. And then we go back and say, it is wrong for the economists to tell us that human beings are driven only by self-interest. That's what the economists told us. And that's why we built the whole economic structure on the basis of that, on the basis of self-interest. Meaning that everything we do, it has to benefit me. I don't care whether it benefits others or not, even if it harms other people, I don't care. but it must benefit me. That's a profit maximization principle. I said economists forget that there are other aspects of human being. It's not only driven by self-interest, it's also driven by collective interest. That collective interest doesn't exist in economics. So what we have done, we brought the collective interest into the picture. So we create business to solve collective problems, and we call it social business. So in one business, the self-interest driven business, we maximize profit. In solving collective problems, we create business where we don't want to make any profit at all, zero profit. So these are two different desires. One desire is to maximize, one desire not to maximize my benefit. I want to maximize others' benefit. That's what the social business is. So there, I never take any money. All in order to make it sustainable, I use the money to come back and create a business to do that, because business is the only mechanism by which you can bring the money back. So you bring the money back, but whatever extra money that comes with it is plowed back into that business. I don't claim any part of it. And I'm very clear. So my eyes remain very clear on what is the purpose of my business, is to help other people solve the problem. And there are so many problems, environmental problems, problems of water, problems of healthcare, problems of energy, problems of plastic, problems of fish, and the other animals dying away because of our way we are polluting the world and so on. So I protect that. I want to solve that problem. These are the common problems, so I want to solve it by creating business, doing that. So these are the scenarios that we present.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Yunus. Thank you, Mark, for your question. And now I have a great honor to invite Luisa Helena Trajano to come on the stage. So Luisa, we work together in Mulheres do Brasil is an NGO that is very, now have more than 50,000 women together, and they fight to have a country that brings equality. So Luisa.
Muito obrigada, Marina, por essa oportunidade. Professor, eu sou muito fã, eu te acompanho há muito tempo e eu também sou uma empreendedora no Brasil e que acredito que o dinheiro tem que ser movimentado e que as empresas têm que ter lucro, mas têm que pensar nas pessoas. Então, sempre eu trabalhei muito nisso e também me sinto que a sociedade civil é que tem que se unir para resolver os problemas do Brasil, do mundo, né?
Vou traduzir pouquinho. So she's a very big fan of you, of your work, okay. And she's a believer also the same thing that you think, that we have companies that need to do good for the society and especially for the people.
Hoje, nosso grupo tem mais de 81 mil mulheres de todos os segmentos, de todas as classes, inclusive de classes muito simples, e que atua em 20 causas, não só para mulheres, mas a causa de educação, de tudo mais, onde a gente não reinventa a roda. A Marina foi a primeira que veio trabalhar comigo nisso, e era pequenininho ainda.
Vou só parar para eu traduzir. So now she's talking about the Grupo Mulheres do Brasil. It's a group of Brazilian women of Brazil that now they have 81,000 women together. That is to not rely only in governments, but how we can, as a civil society, to solve with partnership with public sectors, with NGOs, with companies, to bring everybody together to have the common agenda. And they act in 20 different causes, not only regarding to gender equality, but also refugees, education, poverty, health, and a lot of different causes.
Very good. Well, congratulations. You did a great job. And in your work, if you be interested in social business and the kind of things we do, we'll be very happy to work with you, tell you what we do, and give our experiences, share our experiences with you. There are programs in Brazil where they are following some social business ideas and social business systems and so on. So that we can get together, create a network of social businesses.
Estou à disposição, Luísa, de criar uma parceria, um networking, o que você precisar de saber mais sobre negócio de impacto, negócio social.
Muito obrigada. A gente quer ser realmente o maior grupo político apartidário do mundo. E a gente quer, através das mulheres, porque a gente acredita na transformação do país através da sociedade civil.
Her dream, Luísa's dream, is to create the biggest group that do not belong to any party, but belongs to the civil society to make the change.
Very good. I like that.
E hoje,
what we'll be doing soon, and you can get involved with it, we'll be inviting young people from 12 years old to all the way to 35 years old to create what we call 3-0 clubs. 3-0 clubs. 3-0 is first 0 is zero net carbon emission. Zero, you're looking for the book. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So we'll have 5 people can get together, create a club, 3-0 club. The idea is to fight for one of them. If not all of them, just either as a carbon emission or wealth concentration or unemployment. So use the social business ideas. Think about it. You don't have to do it if you can't, but think about it and connect with each other. Create network from one club to another club and so on. And school children can do that. College young people can do that. University young people. And those who are coming out of a school, coming out of the colleges, they can do that and create things in the social business way, solving the problems in tiny, tiny ways, and then connect themselves to make it big. So if you want to join those, encourage creation of those 3-0 clubs, we'll be very happy. Then we have a global network in Hong Kong and Brazil and Bangladesh and everywhere else.
Estava falando de um clube de 3-0 que pode fazer parcerias e como engajar todo mundo nessa mesma agenda, né? De repensar os nossos modelos de negócio.
Bom, e o nosso grupo agora, ele está muito envolvido. A gente acredita que nessa epidemia do mundo, a única coisa que vai salvar é a vacina. Então, nós começamos em janeiro um movimento muito forte. Aí agregamos os homens também, que chama Unidos pela Vacina, onde a gente não vê passado, quem errou, quem acertou, mas uma união muito profunda para resolver o problema da vacina no Brasil. E a gente está tentando, conseguindo muita coisa, estamos com 5.500 municípios sabendo o que eles precisam. E eu queria te perguntar como é que você vê esse movimento da vacina no mundo e aonde que a gente, e que opinião que você dá para que a gente possa continuar fazendo isso, porque essa epidemia trouxe muita miséria e, além de muita tristeza de mortes de pessoas.
So Yunus, Brazil, not sure if you follow the news, but we are suffering a lot with all the pandemic. Very difficult for our country. And so Luísa, she's leading a movement that calls United for the Vaccine. So bring everybody together to have the entire population to get the vaccine, because this is a problem that affects everyone. And she would like to know what are you doing on this topic and how they can collaborate together.
Sure. We are campaigning for making vaccine a global good, common good, so that there's no patent on it. No commercial company owns vaccine, so that vaccine can be produced everywhere, free from patent right. That's a campaign which is going on. Many world leaders have supported us. We are trying to work to the United Nations to make it happen, so that Brazil can produce vaccines in Brazilian companies, and Bangladesh can produce vaccine in Bangladeshi companies. There are lots of facilities, capabilities already exist, but they cannot do it because vaccine is controlled by big business. So we have to take the ownership of the big business and make it available to everybody who can produce it. So that's a campaign. We continue to do that. Still, we're at different levels, at the United Nations levels, at G20 levels. Like President Lula just made a statement that appealed to the world to bring it to G20 meeting to make the vaccine as a global common good, the one that we are proposing. So he's supporting it, and he's inviting G20 meeting to happen to adopt that resolution. So this is the direction that we are going.
I think acho que está no mudo. Peraí.
A gente também acredita nisso. A gente não entrou nesse movimento de empresário comprar vacina, até porque nesse movimento mundial, enquanto a gente não vacina 70% da população e o Brasil uma população muito pobre, a gente não resolve. Então, esse movimento Unidos para a Vacina não tem negócio, não quer comprar, ela quer, sim, ajudar a vacinar a população como um todo. E a gente está contribuindo por essa missão global, é o que nós acreditamos.
I think she's very aligned with what you are saying. She did not support any big company with vaccine. It's the same, aligned, and arrange another meeting to make this conversation forward. I will be very glad to be part of that. And thank you so much, Luisa, for your question. And now, Professor Yunus.
And we have to stop now. It's too much. Yeah. You have to conclude because another meeting coming up. Yeah.
Yes, it's just one thing. It's 2 minutes, one video from all of us for you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
I cannot believe I'm sending a message to you.
It's a huge honor to be here.
And when I think about you, I think about the man who is allowing all of us to believe that this is a better world.
Acreditando no empreendedorismo e na potência transformadora que toda mulher possui.
Inspiring me to make a career transition from the financial market to philanthropy.
This book changed my life. It gave a name for what I have been doing for years, and I didn't know if it was right or wrong, if I was going to succeed or not, and you called it social business.
And I will never ever forget
your generosity towards the movie Who Cares?
This movie traveled everywhere, made a worldwide impact.
When I met you and Hasna,
it was absolutely fantastic.
Our inspiration for our social business in Brazil with beauty salons.
And my give back to you is to be one of the founders of Somos Todas Marias.
Você me faz ter fé na humanidade.
Showing that impossible doesn't exist for you.
Assumir essa responsabilidade.
That you can change a system without being an expert in it.
Que nós somos a mudança.
The change you wish to see in the world.
Para todo mundo que a gente ama.
And we can use the same to help poor people to see their potential.
I'm on this journey on building a business that will maybe impact millions of people, and you are definitely part of this journey.
De revisitar os nossos modelos para construir um mundo melhor para todo mundo.
Thank you
so much for existing.
Por imaginar e criar outro mundo possível.
For sharing with us your values and your vision, and for living your purpose.
That's nice. That's very good. Thank you. Wonderful. Can you send me the copy of that?
Oh, sure.
Can you send me the? Yes, please send me the link, and
sure.
I'm very happy to have it.
Please
do that.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Marina.
Much for your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Good to see you again. Come back again soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I will.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.